So we'll be interviewing Thad Aerts this week, and he is an ordinary guy. I didn't.
We didn't even laugh until just now when we hit the record button.
It's when we look at each other, when we gaze into each other's eyes.
So Thad Aerts coming on the show Thursday.
He'll be in the barn
again. So we're excited to have Thad. I actually want to ask him a couple questions about Thomas Merton. He's a big fan of Thomas Merton.
Yes.
So I thought I'd maybe kind of talk about that. And
he's also a fan of Father Jacques Philippe. And there's one other that I know he's a huge fan of.
Thomas.
He reads a lot.
Thomas Aquinas?
I'm sure, but that wasn't him.
Is he a Lord of the Rings guy?
Thomas Aquinas? No, he was a lot earlier. I don't think he wrote that one. Is Thad Aerts a fan of Thomas Merton or of Lord of the Rings? Is that your question?
Thomas Merton Aquinas. Was he a fan of Thad Aerts? That's really the question. Well, actually, he was a big motorcycle guy, too.
Thomas Aquinas.
Big into the motorcycle.
Probably unicycles.
Big into the. Did they even? That's a great question. Had they invented bicycles, unicycles?
Well, bicycle. I don't know.
We're talking about Aquinas.
He lived in what century?
Great question.
Yeah.
That Aerts would know. He's a big fan.
He's a big fan of Frodo. So
yeah.
Thad Aerts will be our guest this week, and he is part owner and operator of Boiler Brewing Company, which I think was tied for or got first or second in like the best beer in the country recently.
I think would it be worldwide or is it just country?
I think that was the U.S. Okay. I think they're in the top 8 worldwide.
Wow,
something like that.
Amazing.
I saw the statistic, yeah.
Right down the street, Lincoln, Nebraska, 56th and Pine Lake.
Pine Lake. And there's one downtown, too. You can get one of the best beers in the country.
He's got some tattoos, right?
Yeah, he's got some fun tattoos.
We gotta
ask him about his... Oh, that's a great question. We have to ask him.
I think that's kind of been a theme. What else?
Yeah, Thad's big into motocross, loves craft beer. He rides bicycle, used to ride bike, he skateboarded.
Mm-hmm.
He and I ride bike every once in a while, mountain bikes.
Bike? You guys ride the bike?
Nope. We ride different bikes together.
The 2-seat, 1 pedal.
Yeah.
Have you ever done those before?
Nope.
I've never had a desire to do that. How's your spiritual life?
My spiritual life. That's a strange one to get dropped on you. How do you answer that? Good, I think. Yeah, it is good. It's good. I'm still wrestling with the Father. I talked to a friend today he's like, man, I'm still working on that, wrestling with the Father. And I was like, good. It's practice. Like this relationship is practice. Marriage is practice. Being in an intimate relationship with somebody. It doesn't just come naturally. You go through different seasons and ebbs and flows. It's the same thing with the Father.
Yeah, that's interesting because you texted me. I was kind of having a rough afternoon, and you, I don't remember exactly what you said, but it was something about resting with the Father and peace. And I was like, I don't want to rest with the Father. I mean, that's kind of where I was at. I remember I was walking up the stairs reading it, and I was like, I just want to be mad and angry. So
that's what I sensed. It's the same thing with our kids. You ever have a kid that does that? They're just pissed. Yeah. And you're like, just go sit down and take some time. And they're like, I don't want to. I just want to be pissed. Like, ultimately, I think, and there's times we need to be pissed. We need to express that. We talked about that in an earlier podcast. But usually the answer lies in resting with the Father. Because those anxieties, those fears, that anger, like all those things resolve with the Father.
Mm-hmm. Is that wanting to be angry and kind of like, I just want to stay in this anger? Is that because it's something from our past that's familiar, or is it because we actually need to vent and we need to be angry to process it? Why is that? Do you know?
My thought is that comes back to what Aquinas says, like our hearts are restless until they rest in Him. So we want to bathe in the resentment.
St. Augustine, maybe.
Is it Augustine?
I think so. Restless heart.
Did he ride the unicycle? Yeah, so it was Augustine.
Yeah, not to correct you on the air.
No, please do.
But that was wrong.
Dead wrong.
Very, very wrong. It started with an A, but...
yes.
Anyway.
So I think we run from that. I had somebody call me last night, a good friend called, and he said something very similar with his specific situation. He said, I just keep running. And I'm like, your heart wants to rest in the Father. No matter what the ailment or the scenario is, our desire always comes back to wanting to rest with the Father. We seek it out through resentment or even affection, love with other people. Like we want to run to our spouse or our friend or our parent or whatever. They can be that that arm of God, that hand or foot of God in our life. But ultimately, what we're seeking is the Father's acceptance and love.
What I've noticed in my own life is that now, having you said that, like you will talk to somebody and then you recognize, oh, they're trying to fill a void. And whatever they're trying to tell you that they're struggling with or they're going through, there's actually a void there that you're trying to fill that needs to be filled by God.
Yeah, and people won't often say this, but even like this guy that called last night, he said, I was on a walk and I saw this beautiful woman and I wanted to lust after her. Even the desire to lust after her is rooted in a desire for God. It's displaced, disordered, but that desire is trying to show us something. We tend to focus on, just want to focus on the positive feelings or thoughts, like, but the negative ones are also showing us something. And in that case, that lust for him was a desire for connection and intimacy, ultimately with God, but he's trying to seek it through a counterfeit. We like to have a tradition on Thursday nights, and we have a special meal. I think the Jewish tradition was called a Seder meal. And you have certain things, like there's salt and like there's pickled something. And
When you say that,
I can't take you anywhere.
I'm picturing.
We all wear yarmulkes.
Have you ever watched Meet the Parents?
Yes.
Yeah. So he comes over to meet the boyfriend, the old boyfriend, Luke. It's Luke Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Luke Wilson. Anyway, he's like, I think you call it a hopa.
Yeah.
So I was kind of picturing, as you were talking about the Seder.
The Seder meal.
Yeah. Sorry. That was a waste of everybody's 30 seconds.
Yeah, so we have a Seder meal on Thursday nights, and then Friday night is tradition with my older kids. We watch The Passion of the Christ. And it's one of those bittersweet things. Like, we know we should do it. Nobody wants to do it. You know, there's no popcorn involved. It's just a box of tissues and blankets, and we watch it. So this year we invited some other friends over to it. Actually, we did that last year too. And then we'll go to Easter Vigil, and then Easter Day I'll host some family over. I'm going to smoke some lamb.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I need to find some lamb. Do you have any lambs?
No, we got 3 cats.
That'll work. Probably
Fill that need. I've talked to somebody was mentioning, I think, on a podcast that they had never seen The Passion.
Okay.
Have you?
I actually know somebody that chose not to. He's chosen not to because he didn't want it to influence how he views it from Scripture.
That was their response as well.
I bet it's the same person.
Okay. Maybe is it me? Did it?
Well, yeah.
Maybe I said it. I've had euros. Are those lamb? Is that lamb?
Euros? They're money. It's money that you...
No, if I go to King Kong and get a euro.
a euro.
A gyro?
Euro. Euro. Yeah, it is euro. Sounds like you're saying euro.
I'm not.
It's the Mexican in you.
I have no response for that. It's Hispanic to you.
Oh.
Thank you. Yeah, we actually camp out Friday night.
Really? The whole family?
No, just me.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you get kicked out for one night?
No, well, we do this Force and Faith experience. So we picked Good Friday, to be the night that all the men sleep outside. And so we're going to, actually Seth Dwyer is going to stop over. He's going to find a spot and camp out. And
any big plans for Easter?
No, I wish you turned your phone off, though, man.
Yeah, that was really rude. Let me just text them back while we're talking.
Nothing I'm going to say is valuable. Probably go up to Omaha, see some family.
Just anybody's family or one in specific?
Yeah, usually whoever's the first one off the interstate. Just pull right in. Looks like there's a couple of cars there. Let's go in. We usually hit whatever house has the first thing of Easter eggs outside. We'll go pick them up.
We got baby chicks yesterday.
You did, really?
Yeah, I bought them.
How many?
The kids haven't seen them yet. I got 4.
Oh.
And and my 21-year-old son, I told him I got chicks, and he said, "Oh, do you have like a coop, or where are you going to put them?" And just without blinking, I said, "In the air fryer." And that was his reaction. Like, what?
You do a good job of texting and holding a conversation. Very impressed.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
because you. I'm very hyper HSP about, he's texting and holding a conversation. And as a man, you can only have one box open at a time in your brain.
Calling me less of a man?